Do you ever see a clip for a game and get wildly excited? I mean like really excited. I'm talking new sponges excited. Man, I used to get excited about cool stuff. Anyways, chances are when it comes to games, you probably get excited about big AAA titles that build up a ton of hype, and when the game actually comes out, we're a little let down by the final product that we get. Now, I'm going to propose a theory as to why this is. Basically, no game can ever live up to your imagination and hopes for it. That's obvious. But I think a big reason for all the hype around games can be blamed on just one thing: graphics. And I'm going to try to prove this using a little bit of psychology. In psychology, there's this phenomenon called the beautiful is good bias, or something like that. It's been a long time and I forget the names of these things. Basically, what the bias has proven is that we as humans assume that good-looking people have inherently positive traits, like being kind or trustworthy just because they are attractive. We sort of just project these qualities onto them. If we sort of manipulate the application of these studies in a very roundabout way, this can also be applied to video games. When we see stellar graphics, we firstly assume that the game will be great, that something this beautiful must have a lot of polish and care put into every element of it. When really what we should be thinking is more along the lines of, okay, well, what is all of this paint hiding? Games with next-gen graphics love to draw attention to this fact, and I mean, yeah, why not? The shine and sparkle behind these AAA beasts is a great way to instantly get people's attention and show off all the time, money, and effort that have been poured into these titles. But a side effect of these high-quality graphics are high expectations. When gamers hear stuff like,
"It allows us to have 16 times the detail,"
or
by creating a wide open world with very few rules,
they get excited. Not just because things will look pretty, but because of the unspoken promise that comes along with all of this, that this will be a game changer. What ends up happening is the hype gets built up so much that upon release, they inevitably fall short of expectations. The games usually end up being pretty standard instead of revolutionary, and because so much attention was given to the look of the game, it's one of the first things that people jump onto to trash it. Massive games like these are going to have bugs and glitches. There's just no way to catch them all. And while some may have more than others, it's become very easy to find compilations of all of these problems. Hell, even I have done one. And I'm not saying that excessive bugs and game-breaking glitches should be ignored, only that for these huge games, we go looking for them. And it isn't to say also that smaller indie games don't have bugs or glitches at all. They're just harder to notice and make funny compilation videos about. I mean, for example, here's a bug in a game I like, but I bet you can't spot what it is. It's this, by the way. The photorealistic graphics of games may look nice, but with so much processing power going on, it's a lot easier for something to go wrong than with very few pixels. And, like I said, it's a lot easier to spot. You're more likely to notice a fly on your toast than in your bowl of raisins. Gross. Raisins. Another contributor to this graphical problem is pre-rendered gameplay trailers. Not cinematic trailers, those are beautiful, and I love them, as seen here. I'm talking about ones that are supposed to show you what the game is actually going to be like. These scripted gameplay scenes, sometimes acted out super poorly by someone who's clearly never been in voice chat before.
Hey, don't get too close! No, Darla! Oh, I got him!
Show off the games in all their supposed glory and aim to wow you with these awe-inspiring displays that are often full of lies. Aside from being borderline false advertisement, these dolled-up gameplay trailers lean really heavily into the notion that smooth graphics will equal fantastic gameplay. If they didn't believe this, then they wouldn't feel the need to lie about it so obviously. They want to distract you with the shiny packaging so that you become enamored by the spectacle and focus less on what the game will actually be able to do. Bugs and graphical glitches aside, a lot of these games still release with pretty stellar graphics, or at least have them patched in eventually. The issue is by this point, people often discover that certain features are missing, or that the game doesn't deliver on the groundbreaking elements that they thought it would. Fooled by all of the pageantry, we find out that these games are often mediocre at best. After projecting all of these desirable traits onto the games because of how beautiful they looked, we get slapped in the face with a strong hand of reality. The constant graphical arms race also has another unintended consequence. We tend to overlook or ignore games that don't have this AAA look to them because they can't possibly be good, right? This is how I've thought for a really long time, because I'm a snob and I didn't spend all this money on a good computer not to use it. But I've really started to get more into indie games recently and have been having a blast. Take Loop Hero as an example. Here is a game I would have normally never given a second glance because it feels like it belongs in 1989. But that's by design. It uses well-crafted pixel art, and you can tell a lot of care went into each individual character model. Once you get past its appearance, you'll find a wonderfully addictive game that isn't made any worse by refusing to exist in a fully rendered 3D world. Hype is something that is never going to go away. Companies gotta sell games, and they can't afford to work on something until it's 100% perfect, so they'll lead with their best looking stuff. What we can do is recognize that when the next jaw-dropping gameplay trailer or demo comes out, that this isn't a reflection of the end product. And don't assume just because a game looks good that it's going to be good. And conversely, give those ugly games a chance, because they just might be beautiful on the inside. Anyways, that's all I have to say today. Thanks for letting me talk gaming.